Did you know that some of the most common fruits people eat in the morning, like bananas, oranges, or lychees, can silently spike your blood sugar or raise your blood pressure, especially if you're over 60? According to the World Health Organization, nearly 1 in 5 adults over 60 lives with diabetes, and 2/3 of seniors have elevated blood pressure, often without even knowing it. A study by the American Institute for Geriatric Nutrition revealed that eating high glycemic index fruits on an empty stomach can cause a 25 to 40% spike in blood glucose within just 30 minutes. A dangerous range for older adults with slower metabolism or insulin sensitivity. And it doesn't stop there. Fruits rich in potassium or magnesium, like bananas or durian, can cause sudden fluctuations in blood pressure, putting added strain on the heart. In today's video, we're going to uncover 9 fruits that older adults should avoid eating in the morning, and why those so-called healthy choices might actually be sabotaging your energy, digestion, and overall health. More importantly, I'll also share the best alternative fruits that support stable blood sugar, heart health, and smoother digestion to help you feel strong and balanced throughout the day. Before we begin, if you or someone you love is living with diabetes or high blood pressure, drop a number 1 in the comments to let me know you're here and ready to make smarter choices. And if you find this helpful, a like and a subscription would truly support the channel. Don't forget to share this video with someone who could benefit from it. Now, let's dive in. Number 1. Banana. High sugar, high potassium, and not senior-friendly on an empty stomach. Let's start with one of America's favorite grab-and-go fruits, the banana. Soft, sweet, and seemingly harmless, bananas are a breakfast staple in many senior households. But what most people don't realize is that eating a banana first thing in the morning, especially on an empty stomach, can cause more harm than good, particularly for older adults managing diabetes or high blood pressure. A medium banana contains around 14 grams of sugar and a high dose of potassium. While these nutrients aren't bad in themselves, they can become problematic when consumed without anything else to slow them down. For seniors with reduced insulin sensitivity, that natural sugar gets absorbed quickly, spiking blood glucose and leading to an energy crash before noon. And for those on blood pressure medications like ACE inhibitors or diuretics, the high potassium load can cause electrolyte imbalances or even irregular heart rhythms. Take Harold from Ohio, a 72-year-old retired school principal who thought his morning banana was the healthiest part of his day. But after his doctor recommended tracking his blood sugar, Harold discovered his glucose was spiking every morning before lunch. He was shocked. The fix? Replacing the solo banana with a heartier breakfast, steel-cut oats topped with blueberries and a handful of walnuts. Within a week, his sugar stabilized, and he felt fuller and more energized throughout the morning. So, are bananas bad? Not at all. But for seniors, they should never be eaten alone on an empty stomach. Instead, pair them with fiber, protein, or healthy fats to keep digestion slow and steady. And if a simple, everyday fruit like a banana can disrupt your morning this much, just wait until you hear about the next fruit on the list. It's citrusy, refreshing, and surprisingly harsh on the aging stomach. Number 2. Citrus fruits. Sour morning mistakes that stir up the stomach. Imagine waking up, walking into the kitchen, and reaching for a bright, juicy orange. The color is cheerful, the smell is fresh, and the first bite, tart, sweet, and tangy, feels like it should do your body good. But here's the truth. For many seniors, that innocent orange can quietly ruin the rest of your day. Citrus fruits, like oranges, grapefruits, and tangerines, are full of acid, The same kind of sharp acid that can eat away at your stomach lining if you haven't eaten anything else. When you eat them first thing in the morning, with nothing in your belly but a few sips of water, it's like pouring lemon juice onto an empty pot. There's nothing to soak it up, and all that acid starts splashing around your stomach walls, leading to burning, bloating, or even nausea. One large study from the American Journal of Gastroenterology showed that older adults over 65 are twice as likely to suffer from acid reflux or gastritis when regularly consuming acidic fruits before breakfast. The aging stomach simply doesn't have the same protective lining or digestive speed it used to. Let me paint you a picture. Linda, a warm-hearted 69-year-old from Florida, had a lovely morning routine. She'd sit on her porch with the sun rising, sipping on a tall glass of fresh squeezed grapefruit juice, thinking it was her healthy start. But week after week, she began noticing a strange burning in her chest, a sour taste climbing up her throat, and a tight, uncomfortable feeling after breakfast. She didn't know that grapefruit can interact with many heart and blood pressure medications, making side effects worse. Her doctor gently pointed this out, and together they made a simple switch: warm water in the morning and citrus only after meals. That small change? It gave her back her mornings. So, what's the takeaway here? Citrus isn't the enemy. It's just not meant to go solo first thing in the morning. Let your stomach wake up slowly. Instead of reaching for sour fruits right away, try something gentler. A few slices of ripe pear, a warm bowl of oats with banana, or some papaya, smooth, soothing, and naturally sweet. And if that zesty orange can upset your system so much, just wait until you hear about the next fruit, a soft, juicy favorite that might look innocent, but is actually one of the biggest sugar bombs seniors should avoid. Number 3. Lychee, a sugar bomb. Wrapped in sweetness. Lychee, small, fragrant, and incredibly juicy, feels like a fruit straight from a fairy tale. With its rosy shell and soft, pearly flesh, one bite floods your mouth with a burst of floral sweetness. For many older adults, it brings back memories of childhood summers or family visits to the local market. But behind its delicate charm lies a hidden concern. Lychee is loaded with natural sugar, and eating it first thing in the morning could cause serious trouble for seniors, especially those managing diabetes or prediabetes. Just 1 cup of fresh lychee contains nearly 30 grams of sugar, about the same as a can of soda. When eaten on an empty stomach, this sugar rushes straight into the bloodstream, causing blood glucose levels to spike rapidly. For older adults with slower metabolism or reduced insulin sensitivity, this can lead to fatigue, dizziness, shaking hands, or an energy crash by mid-morning. A study in the International Journal of Diabetes Research warns that high-fructose fruits like lychee can significantly impact blood sugar in adults over 60, especially when consumed alone before breakfast. Take Robert, a 71-year-old retiree from California. Every morning, he'd enjoy a few lychees with his tea, a habit that reminded him of his childhood. But over time, he noticed he'd feel shaky and sluggish before lunch. His doctor suggested cutting back on high-sugar fruits in the morning. Robert made a simple change. He began saving lychee for after lunch and limited himself to just 3 or 4. The result? No more shaky mornings, and he still gets to enjoy the fruit he loves. So here's the key takeaway. Lychee isn't bad, but it's not breakfast-friendly. If you're craving something sweet in the morning, reach for low-sugar fruits like blueberries or raspberries, and pair them with healthy fats like a few almonds or a spoon of nut butter to keep your blood sugar stable. And if a fruit this small can send your body into a sugar spiral, just wait until you meet the next one, soft, rich, and heavier than it looks. It's a tropical favorite that may be wearing out your digestion without you even knowing. Number 4. Durian, heavy, rich, and hard on the aging digestive system. Durian, the king of fruits. Some people adore it. Others can't stand the smell. But there's no denying that durian has a rich, creamy texture and a flavor that's unlike any other fruit in the world. For many, it's a delicacy, soft, buttery, almost like a custard wrapped in a spiky shell. But if you're over 60, and especially if you have digestive issues, high blood pressure, or heart concerns, durian might be a fruit you need to treat with caution, particularly in the morning. Durian is extremely dense in calories and natural fats, with about 150 calories and nearly 30 grams of carbohydrates per 100 grams. That means even a small portion packs the same energy as an entire sandwich. For older adults, whose digestive systems naturally slow down with age, this kind of heavy, rich food can lead to bloating, sluggish digestion, and stomach discomfort, especially if eaten on an empty stomach. More importantly, durian is high in potassium and compounds that act similarly to saturated fats. That can be a concern for seniors taking medications for high blood pressure or cholesterol, as it may interfere with how the body processes those treatments. Some studies even suggest that combining durian with alcohol or caffeine could increase cardiovascular stress, a dangerous combination for aging hearts. Let's talk about Margaret, a 68-year-old retired librarian in Seattle. She was introduced to durian by her daughter-in-law and quickly fell in love with the rich, custard-like flavor. She started enjoying it for breakfast, just a few bites here and there. But soon after, she noticed she felt bloated, tired, and unusually full all morning long. Her doctor pointed out that durian is better treated as a dessert or an occasional treat, and certainly not as a breakfast starter. Once she made that shift, her energy and digestion both improved. So what's the bottom line? Durian is not your morning friend. It's heavy, slow to digest, and better suited for after-lunch dessert, if at all. If you're looking for a creamy texture in the morning, try avocado on whole grain toast. It's heart-healthy, filling, and much easier on your system. Now, if durian can weigh you down like that, what do you think happens with fruits that are cold, watery, and eaten too fast? Up next, one that seems super hydrating but can leave your stomach in a twist. Number 5. Watermelon. Cooling, juicy, but disruptive on an empty stomach. Watermelon, it's the symbol of summer. Bright red, crisp, and bursting with sweet juice, this fruit feels like a glass of cold water in solid form. And for many seniors, it's a refreshing way to stay hydrated, especially on warm mornings. But here's something you might not know. Starting your day with watermelon on an empty stomach may be doing more harm than good, especially for older adults with sensitive digestion or low blood pressure. The truth is, watermelon is made up of over 92% water, and when you eat it first thing in the morning, it can dilute your stomach acid, making digestion slower and less efficient. For older adults, whose digestion is already more delicate, this sudden flood of cold, watery fruit can lead to bloating, gas, and even diarrhea. It's like pouring a pitcher of cold water onto a warm stove. Everything sizzles, cools down too fast, and nothing cooks properly. Watermelon also contains natural sugars, and while they're not as concentrated as lychee or banana, eating a large portion on an empty stomach can still cause blood sugar fluctuations, especially in those managing diabetes or insulin resistance. Take Mr. Gerald, a 70-year-old from Arizona, who used to slice up a big bowl of watermelon for breakfast during hot summer months. He thought it was a smart, hydrating choice, but soon he noticed his stomach would gurgle and cramp after eating, and he'd feel unusually tired before noon. After talking with his doctor, he learned that the cold temperature and high water content were overwhelming his digestion. The solution? Now he enjoys watermelon as a light dessert after lunch, at room temperature, in smaller portions, and says he feels much better because of it. So if you enjoy watermelon, don't give it up. Just don't let it be the first thing your stomach meets in the morning. Instead, start with something warm and gentle like oatmeal or scrambled eggs, and save the juicy fruit for later in the day when your body is ready to handle it. And if something as cool and innocent as watermelon can cause such digestive trouble, imagine what happens when you eat a fruit that ferments fast, feels heavy, and is full of seeds. That one's coming next, and it's surprisingly common in many senior kitchens. Number 6. Custard apple. Soursop. Soft, sweet, and surprisingly stomach-churning in the morning. If you've ever held a custard apple, also known as soursop or cherimoya, you know it's one of the softest, creamiest fruits around. It feels almost like nature's pudding, with a sweetness that melts in your mouth. For seniors who prefer something easy to chew and comforting, this fruit seems like a dream. But if you're eating it first thing in the morning, especially on an empty stomach, it might be quietly upsetting your digestion more than you think. Custard apple is naturally rich in fructose and contains compounds that ferment quickly once digested. When there's nothing else in your stomach to balance it out, no fiber, no protein, no grains, this fruit can start fermenting faster than your body can process it. The result? Gas, bloating, heaviness, and in some cases, acid reflux. And because it's soft and tasty, it's easy to overeat, which just adds fuel to the fire. What's more, soursop contains small amounts of natural compounds that can slow the nervous system, which may not be ideal for older adults already taking medications that affect brain function or blood pressure. It's not dangerous in moderation, but it's not something you want kicking off your metabolism at 7 a.m. Let me share the story of Dolores, a sweet 73-year-old widow from Georgia. She started eating custard apple in the mornings because it was soft on her dentures and reminded her of the desserts her mother used to make. But within weeks, she began feeling uncomfortably full, gassy, and even a bit dizzy mid-morning. Her dietitian explained that this fruit is best enjoyed after a light lunch, not before breakfast. Dolores made the switch and soon noticed her energy and digestion improving dramatically. So here's the bottom line. Custard apple is not a morning fruit. It's better enjoyed as a midday or evening treat in small portions after a full meal. And if you're looking for something soft and satisfying in the morning, try a banana, paired with fiber, mashed avocado, or a smoothie made with berries and almond milk. Next up is a fruit that's bold, beautiful, but packs a sour punch that might be too strong for an aging stomach, and it's often mistaken as a health booster. Number 7. Plum, tart, acidic, and tough on the digestive tract. Plums, shiny, smooth, and often the color of a deep summer sunset, look like the perfect little snack. Their tart bite and juicy center can feel refreshing, especially on a warm morning. And because they're rich in antioxidants and fiber, many people think plums are a great fruit to start the day. But for older adults, especially those with acid reflux, sensitive stomachs, or irregular digestion, eating plums on an empty stomach can be more irritating than energizing. You see, plums are naturally acidic, and that tartness comes from compounds that stimulate stomach acid production. While that might be fine for younger folks, seniors often have thinner stomach linings and are more prone to acid buildup, gas, or heartburn. Eating plums before your stomach has had anything else to coat or protect it can lead to a sour, burning feeling, or worse, a sudden dash to the bathroom. Some plums are also high in sorbitol, a sugar alcohol that acts like a natural laxative. and that's not something most people want to start their morning with. Let me tell you about Eugene, a 74-year-old former postal worker from Michigan. He enjoyed a few plums every morning while sitting by the window with his newspaper, but he kept experiencing bloating and cramps shortly after breakfast. After chatting with his doctor, he was advised to avoid acidic fruits in the morning and instead switch to steamed sweet potato with a boiled egg or plain Greek yogurt with berries. Within a week, his symptoms disappeared, and he said mornings finally felt calm again. So, are plums bad? Not at all. In fact, they can be helpful for digestion later in the day, but they shouldn't be your first bite. If you still love that tart flavor, consider switching to steamed apples with cinnamon or a small piece of ripe pear, both gentler on the aging stomach. Coming up next is a fruit that looks fresh, green, and harmless. But if it's the sour kind, it can be even more acidic than a lemon and just as disruptive to your morning peace. Number 8. Green apple, crisp, tart, and surprisingly harsh. On an empty stomach. Green apples look like the picture of health, firm, bright, and packed with that signature tart crunch. For many seniors, they're a go-to snack, easy to carry, long-lasting, and low in calories. But if you're biting into a green apple first thing in the morning, especially before eating anything else, you might be doing your stomach more harm than good. Here's why. Green apples are high in malic acid and pectin, compounds that stimulate digestion, sometimes too much. That sharp tartness can increase stomach acid, which may lead to heartburn, cramping, or bloating, especially if your stomach is empty and unprepared. Many seniors already experience mild acid reflux due to aging digestion, and the added acidity from green apples can make symptoms worse. Also, the high fiber content, while healthy, can be tough on an empty stomach, especially insoluble fiber, which passes through your gut quickly and may cause gas or discomfort if there's no other food present to help balance it out. Let's take Nancy, a 66-year-old grandmother from Oregon. She thought she was making the right choice by starting her mornings with a green apple and tea. But she noticed a recurring sour stomach and mild indigestion mid-morning. Her doctor recommended switching to a sweeter, lower-acid fruit like a ripe banana with toast, or waiting until after breakfast to enjoy the apple. The difference was immediate, no more bloating, and her mornings felt calmer and lighter. So here's the tip. Save the green apple for a mid-morning snack or after lunch, when your stomach isn't empty and your body can better process the acidity and fiber. And if you love apples, go for red or yellow varieties. They're sweeter, less acidic, and gentler on your system. And now we've reached the final fruit, one that might surprise you. It's juicy, fragrant, and often enjoyed in big portions. But for seniors, it can bring on spikes in blood sugar and an unexpected energy crash. Stay tuned! Number 9. Rambutan. Exotic, sweet, and risky for blood sugar stability. With its fuzzy red skin and jelly-like flesh, rambutan looks like something out of a tropical dream. It's soft, fragrant, and wonderfully sweet, almost like biting into a natural candy. For many people, especially older adults looking for something easy to chew and flavorful, rambutan feels like a gentle treat. But here's the hidden truth. This little fruit carries a big sugar punch, and when eaten on an empty stomach, it can wreak havoc on your blood sugar levels. Rambutan is high in natural fructose, about 20 grams of sugar per cup, which might not sound like much, but for seniors with type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, or even prediabetes, that kind of fast-absorbing sugar can trigger glucose spikes, followed by a mid-morning crash that leaves you feeling tired, dizzy, or foggy-headed. Rambutan is also deceptively easy to overeat. Because it's small and mild in taste, Most people eat 4, 5, even 10 fruits in one sitting without realizing how much sugar they're consuming. And when that sugar hits an empty stomach, it absorbs even faster, flooding your bloodstream and straining your pancreas to keep up. Let's talk about William, a 69-year-old retired firefighter from Texas. He started eating rambutan after discovering it at an Asian market. It was soft on his teeth, gentle on his throat, and reminded him of summer. But after a few weeks of having rambutan with his morning coffee, he noticed he felt sleepy and sluggish before lunchtime. Once he spoke with a nutritionist, he learned the sugar load was hitting too fast and unbalanced. Now, William still enjoys rambutan, but only after lunch and in smaller portions, and his energy stays steady all day long. The takeaway here is simple. Rambutan is delicious, but it's a treat, not a breakfast. If you want something light and sweet in the morning, go for half a banana with oatmeal, or try a berry smoothie with protein to keep your energy stable. So now you know, not all fruits are morning-friendly, especially for aging bodies. But with a little knowledge and a few smart swaps, you can still enjoy your favorites at the right time and in the right way. Conclusion: it's not about giving up fruit. It's about getting smarter with it. So there you have it. 9 fruits that might seem healthy at first glance, but when eaten on an empty stomach, especially by older adults, can trigger digestive discomfort, spike blood sugar, or throw off blood pressure. From the sugary sweetness of lychee and rambutan to the acidity of citrus and green apples, these fruits can silently affect how you feel for the rest of the day. And many people never make the connection. But here's the good news. You don't have to give up fruit. Far from it. Fruit is still one of the best gifts nature has to offer. It just needs to be enjoyed at the right time in the right way and with the right pairings. A banana with oats, berries with yogurt, papaya after lunch. These small, thoughtful changes can lead to more energy, better digestion, and steadier blood sugar, all without sacrificing flavor or joy. Let's take a moment to go back to that question we asked at the very beginning. Could the fruit you eat in the morning be silently hurting your health? Now, you know the answer, and more importantly, you know what to do about it. Aging is a journey, and nutrition plays a huge role in how we walk that path. You're not alone in this. Every adjustment you make, no matter how small, is a step toward feeling stronger, clearer, and more in control. And that's something worth celebrating. So here's what I'd love you to do. If this video helped you understand your body a little better, drop a comment below with the number 9. Let me know which fruit surprised you most. If you learned something new, give this video a like. It truly supports the channel. And if you want more content on senior health, nutrition, and aging gracefully, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a tip that could change your life. And most importantly, share this video with a friend, sibling, or loved one who might be eating the wrong fruits in the morning without realizing it. Because the right knowledge, shared at the right time, can make all the difference. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and take good care of yourself.